Hello everyone, we are from Group 8 and our project is a proposed a two-story residential bungalow at Kayangan Heights, Shah Alam. And I will briefly explain the project background, objective and the scope of work. This project involved the construction of a custom-designed two-story residential bungalow, and the site is located at Kayangan Heights, Shah Alam, Selangor, which is a low-density residential area with peaceful, green environment and good access to amenities. And the client for this project is Wan Salmi Farhana. The bungalow is designed to meet the multi-generational living needs not fulfilled by existing house. Overall, the project aims at providing a long-term comfort, safety, and property value. The project aims to ensure full compliance with Malaysian building standards, safety regulation, and quality requirements, as well as to achieve the project completion and issuance of the CCC by June 2027. Lastly, the goal is to deliver a functional, safe, and aesthetic. The scope of work for this project is divided into several main components. It begins with preliminary works, which include site clearing, earthwork, temporary utilities, and authority approval. And this is followed by structural work such as foundation, ground floor slab, column, beams, upper floor slab, staircase, and brickwork. Next are the architectural and building envelope works, including the roofing system, external walls, doors and windows, and external finishes. The project also includes mechanical, electrical, and plumbing work, electrical wiring and lighting, water supply, drainage system, and sanitary fitting. Next, internal finishing works involve flooring, ceiling, internal doors, walls, plastering, painting, and basic kitchen fittings. Finally, external works and handover include driveway, basic landscaping, system testing, CCC application, and final handover. Next, I'll pass it over to my group mate to continue the presentation.
Next, I will explain our project key stakeholder and organization chart. At the top, we have our client Puan Sami Fahana binti Mat Salim, who is the project owner and the main decision maker. She is responsible for approving all major decisions through the project. Under the client, there are five main professional teams. The first one is project manager, group 3 from University Mahaya, who are responsible for coordinating the entire project, monitoring progress, and ensure that all works are completed according to the schedule and the budget. The second one is architect, A.R. Azwan bin Zainal Abidin, who lead the design process and ensure the building meets the both aesthetic and functional requirements. The third one is civil and structural engineer, Encik Zakaria Isa, who ensure the structural design is safe, stable, and compliant with engineering standard. The fourth one is quantity surveyor, SR Haji Ahmad Suhaimi Abdul Majid, who are manage cost set estimation, budgeting, and financial control through the project. The last one is main contractor by Rumah HQ Sdn Bhd, who oversees all construction activity and ensure the work is carried out according to specification and quality standard. Under the main contractor, there are several subcontractors who handle specialist work like RLR Engineering, Semberhad, Best Solution Water, Reno Sense Concept, Hazy Door and Window, iPainter. Each stakeholder and contractor plays an important role in ensuring that the project runs smoothly, from design to completion, achieving the client goal effectively and efficiently.
This slide outlines the work breakdown structure for the bungalow project, divided into three main stages. First is stages 1, preliminaries and structural works for item 1.0 to 4.0. We start right at the beginning with the preliminaries, which involves site mobilization and setting up temporary utilities. Once the site is ready, we move immediately into the foundations and structural framing for both floor up to the roof. Next is stage 2, MEP and finishes for item 5.0 to 7.0. In this stage, we install the essential service like water and electricity, concretely with architectural finishes like plastering, tiling, and installed cabinetry. Finally, stage 3, external work and handover for item 8.0 to 11.0. We complete the project with external work like drainage and landscaping. This leads into our final testing phase and expectations to ensure everything is perfect for the official handover.
Next, we move to the risk and the constraint. So first is the risk. So the risk for the pre-construction process is unexpected soil conditions that might happen at the site. So without doing the site investigation, we didn't know the condition of the soil. It's either the soil is the moisture of it or even the hardening of it. So next we move to the substructure. As for the substructure, the risk is a collapse of a trenches at the site due to the movement of the soil that will happen if we didn't do the soil investigation. So next is a superstructure. As for the risk for the superstructure, it might have the improper curing that lead to the cracks of the buildings. So if we didn't do kind of a duration for the concrete to be hardened, the building might have a cracks, so it will have a issue for the client to deal with that. So the next stage is a mechanical and an electrical. So the risk of it is a leakage in the plumbing or even the water pipes. As for the finishes, the risk might happen is a defective plastering and painting, whereby for the health, safety and environmental, the risk might happen is a noise, dust, vibration complaints from the nearby buildings if there are some buildings or some tenants nearby of the construction area. So as for the testing stages, the risk might happen is a water leakage detected during the pressure test. As for the handover, the risk that might be happen is a delay in a utilities activation of the construction after the construction has been done. As for the constraint for the pre-construction stage, it is happen due to the limited budget that caused the limited soil investigation at the site. As we know, the total cost that we might put for the soil investigation might be higher due to the demand or even other projects. As for the substructure stage, the constraint is the movement of soil due to the high soil moisture levels. For the superstructure, on the other hand, the constraint is the weather and mixture problems due to the lack of a skilled labor. For the mechanical and electrical, on the other hand, is due to the unskilled labor shortage, because the prices for the unskilled labor and the skilled labor might be different, and the huge was quite big. So for the finishes, in the constraint might be happen for is a human error from the unskilled workers, same as the mechanical and electrical, due to the shortage or even shortage of the unskilled workers. For the health, safety and environmental, on the other hand, the constraint might be happen due to pressure to speed up the work to reduce the time. For the testing, the human error from the unskilled workers, again, for the handover, the constraint might happen is a strict local authority requirement. For instance, like we build up a new house, the requirement that were put by the local authorities might be higher, like the location of the water tank might be somewhere else, not in the building itself, or even the location for the IWK, whereby it might related to the other parties or other bodies like the local authorities and even the IWK. So the handover might be take quite some times. So as for the risk and constraint, I think that's all. We move to the assumption that will be happen or that might be assumed by the contractor. So first is the hoarding should be ready around the site to prevent the people from entering the site. Next is a traffic management plan to maneuver the lorry and machinery to enter and exit the site easily and safely. The third one is the drawings that have been approved by the authority. The fourth one is the emergency assembly points that have been marked clearly. And last but not least is a no major changes in terms of the design during the work in progress. I think that's all for the assumptions that we might be made for the construction process.
And moving on, I'm going to present about a comparison of the project plan developed by our teams. So in the table, you can see that the project duration range from about 101 to 143 days, and estimated cost vary from IM 1 million to over IM 3 millions. So firstly, Quixel plan have a duration of 142.5 days with an estimated cost of IM 1.2 millions, and this project demonstrates that the integration of the time frame, labor resources, and the cost has been systematically organized to ensure smooth project execution. And next, KAI plan have a duration of 103 days, an estimated cost of RM 1.3 millions. And this project maintain a realistic paces by including a buffer to manage potential delays. With flexibility by may increase the cost to the longer use of the resources. And next, Yufan plan have a duration of 103 days with an estimated cost just about the IM 1 millions, and is a bungalow project that can finish quickly to reduce the interim payment, but the shorter timeline could increase the pressure of the resources. And next, Panzerhill plan have a duration of 120 days with a cost of about RM 1.3 millions. It's adopt a detailed and systematic scheduling approach with clear dependency, and the longer duration reflect a conservative plan to minimize the risk and ensuring smooth progress. And next, Watana plan is 107 days with a higher cost of about RM 3.2x millions, and the shorter duration assume perfect working condition without considering the site delays. But the higher cost result from the supervising every task with the multiple professionals, which also causes the resources overload warning. Lastly, Young Naziha plan is shorter and have a duration of 101 days with an estimated cost of 2.64 millions, and it includes a comprehensive resources allocated and a detailed resources database to ensure accuracy in materials, labor, and also equipment costs. So in summary, those projects highlight different approach to balance the project duration, cost, and also the risk management. So each project have its own advantage to depends on the project priority.
Moving on from the comparison of each project, I will be explaining which of the group members' project is the most realistic and achievable plan. Now, based on the data and analysis that we have conducted, we came to the conclusion that member number four's project is the most realistic and achievable when taking into consideration four criteria, which are the duration of the project, the critical path and sequencing of the project, the resource allocation, and lastly, the cost of the project. Now, for this slide particularly, I will be explaining on more about the duration of the project. Now, for member number four's project, the duration is 128 days, which matches the industry norm of 4 to 6 months for the construction of a double-story bungalow in Malaysia. Now, this figure is more realistic than member number 6, 101 days, and member number 3 is 103 days, which would require very aggressive scheduling and require very precise and coordinated uh, workflow from the workers, which is quite unrealistic in real world conditions. Now, the duration of 128 days also provides a buffer for delays which could be caused by the weather or any inspections done on site or any material supply issues. 120 days is also just nice in that it avoids a long duration like member number one's 142.5 days and member number three 143 days. The issue with long durations like such as these two numbers are that is that the longer the project takes to be completed, the higher the cost will be, and the more budget is required to complete the project. Now, the figure of 128 days, when compared to the other members' figures, It achieves a good balance between time efficiency and practicality. Now I will be explaining more on the critical path and the sequencing for this project and why we think that this is the most achievable and realistic project out of all the group members. Now, for the critical path of member number four's project, the sequence is logical, starting from the foundation to the structure to the envelope and to the finishing. The whole sequencing itself does not have any unrealistic gaps or any fragmented task chains. This include the What's unique about this project itself is that it has the inclusion of defect management and defect liability period, which other group members did not include in their own project. Now, the addition of this particular task reflects on the real industry practices that were of quality assurance before handover. This shows that this report has the foresight and shows the foresight of this project and also strengthens the project's realism. Now, for the resource allocation and also the cost, the allocation of resource for this project itself is it's a balanced use of management staff, skilled workers, and equipment. While overall there are a few of over allocations of resources that exist in the whole project, it still sufficiently reflects real world reliances on general labor. The total cost for the project itself is about 1,322,983 ringgit and 33 cents, which is, I would say, reasonable. It's not too cheap, nor is it too expensive for a two-story bungalow, especially one that is in the middle of Selangor. This cost aligns well with the duration and the project scope.
In conclusion, this assignment has significantly enhanced our understanding of systematic construction, planning, and resources management through the use of Microsoft Project. Although we encounter challenges in determining task sequence, estimate duration, and allocating resources, this exercise provides valuable hands-on experience in linking time, cost, and resources in realistic manner. The knowledge and skill gained are highly relevant to professional practice, as effective project scheduling and control are crucial to ensuring construction projects are delivered on time, within budget, and according to the required quality standard. Thank you for your time and attention. We truly appreciate the opportunity to present our work and share what we have learned through the assignment. We hope our presentation has given a clear overview of our project planning process using Microsoft Project. Thank you.